An EverAfter presentation. Super Bowl 48, or shall we call it the Sniper Bowl. I've even heard reference of it as the Stoner Bowls, being that both teams are from states that have legalized marijuana. Kind of a strange Super Bowl this year. Want to talk about the high security, and I would like to talk about how that links to what are the potentials of what might happen. I'm not putting out this video to try to fear monger and say that anything's going to happen. This is just one of those things where I'm putting the dots together again, and I see a lot of symbolism going on that has gone in the past at Super Bowls in the past. Recently here, I've heard a quote that was put out that since 9/11 that the Super Bowl is a level 1 security event, and yet if you do the math, I think we've had more than just 1 year since 9/11. So what happened to all the security last year? Okay, let's bring that up right now while I'm on that subject. I called it the Sniper Bowl. I went online, I did some research, and found out last year's Super Bowl they had snipers as well. They had Viper teams. These are roving teams that move around the stadiums, as well as the interior and exterior perimeter of the stadium. So evidently there's been a heightened level of security. Not until just recently, I'm finding, though, within the last couple or few years. On this current Super Bowl, with more research, I've found that the contract for this Super Bowl was 4 years ago. MetLife got the contract for Super Bowl 48. So they've been planning for this for quite some time, and it's something that they're very well prepared for. Before I get too much further into this video, I'd like to give props to, I think, who I've seen on the internet who's done more research on this and has put more together on this single event than any other YouTube channel or website explaining the events of this current Super Bowl. Would have to be Daboo77, and that's DABHOO77, Daboo77. Guys, if you can get on that YouTube channel, that's a YouTube channel, link to Daboo. I'll try to put a link down below. I'm not really good at this. I'm just starting this out, but I'll definitely put his name at the bottom of this. He has a great video. You can get a lot of visual. I'm just talking about this stuff. He's got great visual and links to the different security that is in place during this Super Bowl, and he relates the security contractors, or in this case whoever is watching the Super Bowl, as far as he explains that in his videos. I'll go into a little detail right now and explain what he did, and then if you could link to that video, please, and check out what's going on here, guys. Again, this is something that is, it's a little scary looking at what we've got. A lot on the plate just for a game of football, a pigskin per se. There's a security force that's over the Super Bowl this year. It's their largest event, and they're also doing the Russian Winter Olympics, the Sochi Games. Okay, the contractors for this security force of over, I heard numbers on the internet of over 4,000 different law enforcement participants, between the Viper teams, the SWAT teams, the helicopters. I haven't even gone into any of that yet, but that there's over 4,000 security people in and outside of the stadium. I don't believe that we had that last year, guys. Don't remember. I didn't watch Super Bowl last year, so I'm not sure. I have other things to do other than, I'm not taking from anybody who likes football, but there are a lot more important things in life than football, and so I just seem to find myself consumed with reality instead of sporting events. Nothing against sporting events. Get out there, play football, play basketball, play tennis, play all of these events, but don't let it just totally saturate your life and forget about what's more important here. But again, on the security force that's watching this, there is over. You'll have to excuse me, guys, too, on this. This is unscripted. I just make some talking points and I just kind of ad lib. I guess that's not the best thing to say, but I shoot from the hip, so to speak. So again, if you just follow with me, I will try to get you the information and give you some of the information to links to other videos as well, where you can get this information to back up what I'm saying. But again, the security force on this that's doing the Olympic Games and doing the Super Bowl is a contractor, which is the NICE City Safe City program, which is also being used in London and New York subways. Okay, they're at the Sochi Games as well. They have over 100,000 closed circuit cameras in real time that they're monitoring at this time. They're monitoring. Okay, these. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think Israel and Russia get along too well. So that's a kind of a conflict of interest right there. And this is the same corporation or security team, we'll call it, or security force, or spies that are watching both the Winter Olympics and our gladiator football event that we have here in the United States, our 48th Super Bowl this year. So I find that a little ironic. I do find it to be a conflict of interest. Again, this is something that was not in place last year, at least not at the sheer numbers of people that are involved this year. I want you to take a look at too something at the symbolism with some of what's happening with the Super Bowl. Take a look at these halftime events. Madonna with her, was that a couple years ago, I think it was. Again, guys, I don't watch a lot of this. I'm hitting points that I've seen more and seen information from the internet from, but a lot of satanistic rituals. If you watch the Grammys this year, which I didn't watch the whole thing, I saw some stuff from the internet. Lots of Illuminati symbolism going on here. So another strange link that Dabu put together was that Pepsi, they are another one of the sponsors for Super Bowl 48, and the art team, or the team behind their marketing for all the artwork. You can go see the MetLife Stadium. They have a bunch of the art on the front of the stadium, which is Pepsi oriented, and throughout the stadium. The company that is contracted to do all the artwork's name is Pentagram. So again, guys, February 2nd, 33rd day of the year. Lots of different lots of different things here, kind of all linking together, and the common person, I don't think would see this if they were just numb and going, go Seahawks or go Broncos, and they're not paying attention to what they're really doing. Another thing that I think we should listen to, or at least be aware of, I think God gives us signs to be aware of these things, and these are things in the Bible that you can look up if you're a spiritual person. I think it warns us in these times about just being aware of seeing these things. You should. People might say that you might not even want to watch the Super Bowl because of the subliminal implanting that is done on our brains. Even if, again, I want you to think about somebody who's just mindless, who doesn't understand, but all the symbolism that's implanted into their subconscious brains through all this symbolism that's gone on through advertising year after year. It's done to the children, it's done to adults. It's like no holds bars now. Anything goes. And again, if you look at it, you see it all around us now. It's awful scary to think that at any time we're being tempted all the time by these different symbolism and all the different things that, even if you don't believe in it, it's still out there. There's two sides to everything, and whether you believe in something that there's two opposing forces. I'm not sure how to exactly put that together. I'm not articulating very well this morning, but again, let me go on into a little bit more, guys. There's this year, okay, they're going to have Apache helicopters, F-16 airplanes supposedly being able to scramble anything in the area. They also have a no-fly zone over the Super Bowl this year, so we shouldn't be afraid of anything. I mean, you should be able to go to the Super Bowl and be pretty secure this year, right? Another thing they did this year, and again, I'm not sure if it's just a marketing thing or not, but they're making all patrons that come in to the Super Bowl this year, if you're to bring anything into the stadium, it has to be in a clear tote. And the NFL, again, is the designer behind all these different logos, and so you got to think about all the marketing that goes in. These teams now, they change their logos pretty often. It's something that used to be pretty much the same, and you could wear that same jersey or same maybe jacket, and it would be that same logo for many years, and so they would continue to just pump that logo. But these things change now, guys. People want new things, and again, I think that's a marketing thing. It's to get the consumer to buy this year's J's or Jordans or whatever the case may be, and then next year throw them to the curb because they want they want the new stuff. They want the new logos. So again, I think that buys into the corporate way of the NFL. Another really important point. There's information about this that you can find on the internet as well. That the National Football League is a tax-exempt corporation, meaning that what does it take to get a tax-exempt status? About a $3 million donation. And then from there on, and I'm sure that the National Football League gross a lot more than $3 million. And yes, they do have their Hall of Fame organization, their tax charity organization that they pump all the rest of that money into, which I'm sure they just skim right back off the top. So it appears that they care. But guys, I want to explain something too. By tax exempt, they're tax exempt. That doesn't mean that you're tax exempt, and that you don't. If you have a stadium in a city that you live in, or in a state that you live in, as a taxpayer, you're paying for that sports stadium. I saw a link with off of InfoWars with Jakari Jackson on the nightly news, where he went and he interviewed some folks around New York, I think it was. Maybe it was in Times Square, and these folks were all right with paying taxes because it was a sports stadium and it added to their area and things like that. And I guess if you're all right with that, but what if you don't care about football? What if you don't have ever watched a game, or are you reliable for paying the taxes on those stadiums and to those corporations and letting them skim all that extra, if that's what's going on? Seems to me as if if they're $3 million into it with donations to get the tax exemption, then I know that that's a multi-billion-dollar corporation. The National Football League is. So again, think about some of the patent rights of the NFL, and now you have the Israelis just coming in there and taking over. I mean, that's huge. I think it shows you is who's really in charge now. I mean, that seems to point to they're in charge of the Russian Winter Sochi Games. I think, guys, it's pretty easy to figure out what's going on here on who's controlling what. So, again, I'm not calling any kind of false flag. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying look at the buildup of security. The last time we saw this kind of event happen, we did have ourselves a false flag, and we had the Boston bombing. So a lot of buildup behind this. The stadium, 1 week of lockdown. The TSA is going to be searching everybody as if you were going into an airport. This is the Super Bowl, guys. This is something I get. This one right here, when I start thinking about this one, it really starts to irritate me because it makes me think about our future in this country, and it makes me know that things incrementally happen, and this is the frog in the pot of boiling water theory, and this is a slow boil. You're accepting them doing this to you at the airports, yet we've never had that I know of, anything linked to the kind of terrorism that they're talking about here in the U.S., and yet they have all these TSA agents, taking naked pictures of your junk and, laughing about it. There's links to that on the internet, grabbing your junk. How about grabbing your kids' junk, guys? Are you okay with your children being molested by the TSA? I mean, this is a family event, right? This is a sporting event, right? You're going to bring your family there. Are you okay with them, tickling your testes there for, and then doing that to your kids? I'm not all right with that. I'm not all right with the airport, let alone at the Super Bowl. So if you're going to allow it at the Super Bowl, would you allow it at the supermarket? Come on, guys. Really? Look at what we got going on here. Is the next thing before you go out your front door? I mean, wow, I'm getting way out there, huh? Tinfoil hat wearing kind of. A lot of this stuff just keeps rolling out and rolling out and rolling out, guys. I mean, you got to understand that this is something that it's been slowly boiling us, and so I want you to think about that. Another thing that alarms me so much about this particular event is that, again, if you take that they've contracted all these Super Bowls in the past for the best marketing and to make the most bang for their buck, so to speak. They always had the Super Bowl in an extremely cush environment. If I'm not mistaken, we've never had a Super Bowl that's been in snow or anything like that's going on this time. It's always been in a warm climate where the customer or the person, the minion, the person that's coming to watch the football game is going to spend all their money because they're comfortable there in a nice warm climate in a nice comfortable stadium, and it's a cush thing. That's kind of all out the window this year too, guys. Is that not say something? Or am I just whacked? Maybe it's just me, but I find this to be a little ironic in knowing that a lot of planning, like I told you, goes into these things. 4 years in advance, MetLife Stadium knew that they were going to have this contract. They were going to have the Super Bowl. Oh, they couldn't predict the weather was doing what it's doing now, right? Like we can't predict the weather. They don't have any weather modification going on, or this is all just kind of a coincidence, right? Let me bring up another thing about MetLife Stadium, okay? MetLife Stadium is, if you had to take seating capacity per size of stadium, this stadium, you can fit more people in a smaller place, in a smaller stadium at MetLife Stadium than any other stadium in the National Football League, guys. Get the schematics out. Do the math on it. You'll see that I'm correct on this. I did some homework on this, and I find that to be another very alarming piece of information. I mean, I'm not making this stuff up, guys. This is something that, again, it's just a fact. And that might not mean anything. But, let me just throw it out there at least. If I was going to have some kind of event where I was going to try to get the most bang for my buck, I'd want to try to put everybody in the smallest spot, right? I mean, rather than blow up 1,000 people in 10 buildings, why not just blow the same 1,000 people up in one building? You know what I'm saying? I mean, don't want anybody to get blown up, or that's again not what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to look at the situation and look how ironic that all these things seem to add up. So again, I'm not saying don't get a football jersey and don't support a team or don't do something like that, because that's fine and dandy. But again, guys, we're just kind of giving into this corporatism. Your tax dollars are paying for these stadiums. You know, you go there, your tax dollars pay for these stadiums, and yet it costs you $1,000 to get a ticket to one of these events. Is that so? These folks really care about you guys? You know, they really care about you as the taxpayer, or excuse me, the taxpayer? No, that's not what that's about. Isn't that not obvious? You know, I want to wrap this up here pretty soon, but I just wanted to put this information out. I know there's a couple points that I've missed, but again, you know, if you guys get on the internet, you'll see that there's a lot of information to support what I'm telling you. I'm not the only one saying this. There's a lot of people on the internet that are kind of wondering with the different advertising, the Arnold Schwarzenegger Bud Light commercial that's stating 2/2/14. What was the wording on that again? I think it was ready for whatever. We're ready for whatever is coming. I think it was. Another thing, no tailgating this year. No Super Bowl parties outside the Super Bowl. That's huge. You know, can't Super Bowl party. The other thing that I wanted to make a note on is that the Department of Homeland Security made a huge bust. I mean, we have them to be so thankful for. I am so glad that they went out and busted a big ring of people that were making illegal jerseys. I mean, I am so proud of my country to know that I have an organization that's out there busting people for having illegal jerseys during the Super Bowl. I mean, we wouldn't want that to happen, right? We wouldn't want people to have access to some of the same goods and services, but maybe not at those extreme prices, huh? So good for you, Department of Homeland Security. I'm glad that's where your mind and your guys' heads are at this year. So anything else here? Let me see if there's anything else that I can think about here. You know, just be aware of the symbolism, guys. Please be aware. Watch the Super Bowl, but watch with cautious eyes. You know, again, there's a lot of symbolism that goes on. So we all, whether you're a sports fan or not, whether you're a football fan or not, I think that a lot of people watch the Super Bowl for or the Stupid Bowl, excuse me, for the commercials. But that's where they're really pumping in that symbolism to us, guys. You know, it's going to go in your brain whether you want it to or not. So be cautious. You know, this is where I think we need to be strong with our faith. Remember where we came from. Remember what life is about. Life is not just about ourselves. Life's about other people. Life's about our planet, and life's about humanity. So I don't see a lot of humanity going on at this event, treating people like slaves. I knew I'd forget something. I want to bring this up too. Everything that comes into that stadium, folks, was going to be x-rayed by the TSA. All drinks, all bags, all everything. So, you know, is this how humanity is to be treated? Like we're all a bunch of slaves? You want to give into this? You want to go to the Super Bowl and pay $1,000 at a ticket and get your free testicle massage or whatever the case may be? Have F-16s and Apache helicopters flying overhead, snipers pointing their rifles at you. You know, this is leading up to something, guys. You know, with F-16s in the air, sniper teams, Viper teams, TSA agents, dogs, bomb-sniffing dogs, Israel watching the whole thing unfold. Looks like this might be leading up to something, guys. I'm going to throw it out there, just to put it out there. Obama was supposed to do his reveal. Maybe this is going to be the day. Not sure, okay? If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, look it up. You'll see. with the no-fly zone over the top of the stadium. If something happens, guys, Israel is aware of it. They know what is happening because they're watching every single thing that is happening at this event. So if something goes down, they're going to be very, very aware of it. Okay? So don't forget that. So I'm sure they'll pull a lot of these videos like this off the internet. Those folks that have figured this out and figured out where this could potentially be going. Okay? Take care, guys. Enjoy your stupid bowl. You know, please, I'm going to say this just because this needs to be put out there. Don't drink and drive. Don't leave your Super Bowl party messed up, okay? Please, be safe. There's people's children out there. It's Sunday. This is the day that we're supposed to be thinking about something other than, you know what day it is on Sunday. So, I appreciate you hitting this video. I'm going to keep doing videos for you guys. I've got a lot more videos I want to put out. I'm going to cover some of the same things again. Eventually, I'd like to get where I start putting the links and things like that in these videos. Actually putting visuals, not just my ugly mug, so that you can look at something other than me. I'm not the most interesting person in the world, so I'd like to be able to show you the white papers, so to speak, or link to some of these articles. So I'll try to get my act in gear and try to get these videos to start be a little bit more professional. But I am more for just putting this information out there for you. I encourage you to do the same thing at this point in time in our country. It's time to speak up. It's time to wake up. It's time to tell everybody you know about what's happening around you. These times are changing so fast, guys. So don't miss anything. You know, it's very important that we see what's in front of us. So again, if you like my video, please give me a thumbs up. If you don't, give me a thumbs down. A comment always is encouraged. I do hope that our country can see Super Bowl 49, and that maybe someday that my son will be able to attend Super Bowl 100. So let's make sure that we can do that. It starts with taking care of ourselves and being aware of what's going on around us in this day and age. It's time to stop being treated like slaves. Look at this Super Bowl, folks. Super Bowl, then the supermarket. Are you ready for the TSA? Wake up, America.